from now. So whenever you like, just feel free to start and then press the red leave call button when you're done, and we'll catch up afterwards, okay?
Perfect.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, guys, I'm really excited to be on the call today because obviously we've got the start of the Millionaires Academy, and what I'm going to be talking a little bit about is I'm going to be talking.
Sorry, Adam. Let's do that again. It's a Wealth Academy now. Maybe I didn't inform you, but it's Wealth Academy, and everything's all good. Go ahead.
One second. Oh dear. Sorry, I got interrupted there. Mark, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Sorry, I got interrupted. Yeah, so that's the Millionaires Wealth Academy.
Yeah, no, it's just Wealth Academy.
Wealth Academy, perfect. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right, I'm ready to go. Hey guys, hi, my name's Adam Strong, and I'm really excited about being on the call with you today for the Wealth Academy. And today I'm going to be talking about a bit more in depth about energy management, and it's really relevant energy management, especially at this time of the year with everything going on with all the sporting events that's going on. We've just had the Euro 2016, and we now got the Olympic Games and so forth. And I'm going to be touching some of the stories and case studies through the energy management and reasons how you should use energy management through your entrepreneurial journey, because I think it's really going to help add productivity, but more so it's actually going to add dollars to your bank account. So I think that's going to be really important. So let's get started. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them till the end, and I look forward to hearing from you at the end. So the first thing I wanted to ask you actually is I actually want to start off by asking a posing question. Because energy management, it means different things to different people. I have my own definition of what energy management means to me personally, especially in my business and entrepreneurial journey. But you will also have your ideologies and your insights and views of what energy management is. So I just want to I want you to spend like 60 seconds to just help yourself to just get yourself a big piece of A4 sheet of paper and just write down your thoughts about what energy management means to you personally. Now, during the recording of this, I want you to press pause on the webinar and just really do the task that I'm asking you to do, because you're going to be able to maximize some of the content that I'm going to be able to give you today, but to just really getting deep into that subconscious mind. So just spend 30 to 60 seconds just writing down some of your thoughts. Okay, good. I'm hoping that you've really done that task down to a T, because I think it's really going to help you understand what today is all about. But what does energy management really mean? So, well, if you type in energy management into Wikipedia, it will come up with energy saving or wind turbines or whatever it is. But energy management to me is a little bit like, there's some really good examples at the moment. And one of the examples is this. Now, I'm sorry the picture's a little bit blurry, but it's because they were cycling. The Great British, the GB team was cycling so fast that they couldn't get a really good shot. But in the men's pursuit, and I don't know if you've been watching the Rio Olympics, but it's been absolutely amazing, especially for Team GB. And this is the men's team's pursuit, where there are four cyclists. And this was the gold medal final challenge as such. And basically, the idea is that obviously, the first team across the finish line obviously wins. Now, at the halfway stage, Australia, who was our opponents, were leading the race by 0.7 seconds. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, 0.7 seconds, that's not a lot. In cycling, that is a lot. I mean, that's a difference between, that's a hell of a lot of time to be, that in cycling, it's a hell of a lot of time. But after halfway and towards the finishing line, what Team GB did is they consumed and they found their time. They found that energy management. They held back, And what they did is they knew when to peak at the right times. Okay. So what happened is that at the end of the race is, if you've been following the Olympics, is that they won the gold medal. They smashed the world record and they beat the Aussies by over a second. Now that's absolutely huge. So it's knowing when to peak. Now for entrepreneurs and stuff like that, time management is all about sustainability. All right, how to sustain your energy throughout your business, whether that be getting up early to going to bed late, and really consuming and sustaining some of the energy that you have in order so that you can be consistent throughout. We'll move on to the next one. Some of you might have seen this slide before, because what we did is we did a previous webinar on energy management as well. And you know, food should be our medicine, our medicine should be our food. So true. So these are just some of the reasons why energy management is so important to an entrepreneur. Well, number one is it gives you focus and clarity. You know, I got a friend of mine, actually, her name's called Shelly. She's based in California, and she's really into her health and stuff like that. But she's also an entrepreneur. And she said to me, she said, Adam, she said, I've been finding it really hard to get some focus and clarity. And we explored sort of energy management and nutrition and healthy eating. And just by making a few tweaks to her energy management, she said to me within a sort of 2 or 3 weeks, she said, I've got such focus and clarity. I'm so productive in my business. It's crazy. I've never had this. So, you know, this is the reason why once you get more focus and you're more clear on the end results, you're able to be more productive in what you do. So that's the first thing. The second thing is it increases cognition, memory, and concentration. Now, obviously, cognition and memory, and you know, if you're able to memorize more things that are important to you, so that you know it might be a fact that you know you might have a series of potential clients that you've had in the past, and you know you don't have a follow-up process, or you've forgotten a particular client's birthday or whatever it is. If you're able to increase your cognition and memory, then your performance is going to go up twofold. I'm sure that you would agree that those benefits are huge, you know, to be able to do that. And there's lots of case studies actually out there. There's lots and lots of case studies to say that, you know, if you eat healthily, if you increase your energy management, then you're able to perform better in your business. Third one is increased productivity. Obviously, if you increase your energy, you increase productivity. It's not rocket science. But, you know, what does productivity relate in terms of the amount of money, or the amount of money that is in your bank account? You know, if you increase your productivity, you're able to do more in less time. You know, one of the things that I do is I have a productivity planner, you know, and I fill this in the night before I actually do my task today, so that I'm completely focused and so that I can immerse myself in the work that I need to be doing. I can get as much work done in a single day than most entrepreneurs can get done in a week, purely because of the energy management that I have put in place. Fourth one is also your immune system as well. As you, as an entrepreneur like yourself, or a business owner, is that you'll be subjected to very long days, you know, 18-hour days, you know, getting up early. If you're not getting up at 6 a.m., you know, early, as an English saying, as the early bird catches the worm kind of thing. And then you'll probably be going to bed late. And obviously stress levels are going to be, you know, they're going to be fairly high. And if you don't get your energy management right, you know, you're going to dampen your immune system. It's going to become suppressed. You're going to get sick. And, you know, in this day and age, if you're running your own business and you don't have employees, can you afford to be sick? That's the big question. Can you afford to be sick? Because if you can afford to be sick, then you don't need to be listening to this webinar right now. But if you can't afford to be sick, then you've got to put things in place which will help you not be sick. All right. And the fifth one is optimal performance. these lovely bunch of employees, is that if you teach and train your employees and be a role model for them, okay, then you're able to optimize their performance, because they're going to see you as their role model, as like their mentor kind of thing. As a CEO myself who runs my own business, I have employees as well, and I'm a big advocate for healthy eating, and because I'm a big healthy advocate, they're also going to be healthy advocates, whether they choose to but I have you would say that you would like to say that you have a good influence over your employees, and that's going to add dividends to your business, essentially, and it's going to add this, great ambience of great sort of healthy culture, and that's going to again add, it's going to be really healthy for the company that that obviously is part of you. So that's the main things. So keep calm and think work smarter and not harder. I think it's really, really important to think like that, because entrepreneurs these days, they always trying to find ways to create shortcuts, but it's not difficult. It's not difficult in practice to get your energy management right. So these are the kind of most common questions that you may have right now, and I really have to think about these. So I'll read them out to you, because you're probably nodding your head thinking, yeah, I've got that question. Yeah, I had that one. I was going to ask him that question, but then I've kind of anticipated what you were going to ask me anyway. So what should I have for breakfast is a really a very, very common question that I get asked. What diet should I follow? How often should I eat? I'm new to this whole nutrition thing. What should I actually eat? Should I avoid carbs? Should I avoid protein? Should I avoid fat? Is fat bad for me? What do I need to get a six-pack? What supplements should I take? These are all very common energy management nutrition questions, And the thing is you're probably thinking to yourself, well, what are the answers to these questions? Well, it all depends on a number of different factors. Number one, it depends on your goals. Now, we all have our own personal and professional goals. And the thing is like, we're all different people, okay? So, for example, I'm very different from like you listening to the call. We all have different nutritional goals. We all come from different cultures. We all have different lifestyles. Okay, we all have. So, for example, in about 3 weeks' time, actually, I'm doing this big physical challenge, which I'll be doing for charity. And essentially, it is a 10K race, which is going to be a trail run, mountain biking, and kayaking. Now, because I'm going to be consuming a lot more calories, my energy management and my expenditure is huge right now. So therefore, my nutritional goals are going to be somewhat different from someone who isn't training for a particular, event or activity or whatever it might be. Some of you might want to lose weight. Some of you might want to, sustain your energy. It just depends on what you are and where you're from. So there isn't really a kind of a one trick answer to it, because we've all got different body genetics. We've all got different body makeovers. And not one human being there's not a one size fit all approach. All right. So it all depends. So these are just some of the common goals that you might have right now. Number one, some of you might want to lose a few pounds or a few kilos. Secondly, is you might even want to gain a few pounds. Like if you're super skinny, I've always been like really super skinny, but it's purely because of the activities that I do. But some of you might actually want to gain some weight, Some of you just might want to, you're happy with where you are right now. You just want to maintain, all right, which is absolutely perfectly fine. The fourth one is to sustain high energy. You might have a dampened immune system. You might be, when you feel demotivated and you don't have very high energy, it's very difficult to be productive in your business. So you're looking at maybe ways to try and increase that high energy. And the last one I put here is anti-aging, because it's interesting, because everyone is, especially sort of the middle-age bracket, people, you know, we generally don't want to become older. We want to live longer, you know, we want to be younger. I mean, classically, I mean, if you look at like some of the Hollywood stars who spend huge amounts of money on cosmetic surgery, which is crazy, but you can actually live longer by getting your health and your energy management just correct. There's actually lots of studies out there now to say that, you know, if you have a healthier lifestyle and you increase and you have physical activity within your life, you actually increase you know, your mortality as such, and which is always a good thing. So like I said, we're all from different cultures. You know, for example, you guys there in Sweden has a very, very different lifestyle from people in the UK, and people in the UK have a very different lifestyle from people in the Mediterranean and in China and South Africa and South America. So we're all from different cultures. So there isn't this kind of one size fits all approach. Now, because we are from different cultures, we have to really take that into consideration. So I want to give you some scenarios here. And it all depends on a number of key factors. So for example, in the north of Sweden, Norway and Scandinavian countries, in the winter, it's going to be exceptionally cold. You know, temperatures get down to -20, which is probably very conservative, right? -20, -30, -40, which means because it's so cold, we're not likely to have salad and barbecue and that kind of stuff. We're probably likely to go for more fatty foods. So, for example, like fish and potatoes, seasonal veg is very traditional in Sweden. Whereas in the Mediterranean, those types of foods really really don't kind of go as well. Whereas in the Mediterranean, then we'll go for the more Mediterranean diet, which would be things like olive oil. They like their breads and their pastas. They like their fruits and vegetables, of course, and their olives. So the diets are very, very, very different. And also it depends on the seasons as well. So, you know, because in the summer we're likely to go for things like salads and soups and barbecues and those types of things, whereas in the winter we more go for things which are a bit more filling. So for example, here in the UK, you know, in the winter most people will go for, say, a pie, which is pastry and meat or a vegetarian pie of some sort. Is a bit more filling, whereas in the summer you wouldn't go for something like a pie, for example. You know, so it just depends on the seasons and the culture that you're from. Is all going to depend on the outcome. But the key thing is what I want you to do right now is to identify 3 unhealthy habits, because it's actually the habits that actually, you know, that really have they really have a, should we say, a problem with your, should we say, energy management. And if you change your habits for things that are more healthier, that's what's going to be makes more sense. So the best thing to do is to think to yourself, okay, what kind of habits do I have right now which are, you know, are very, very unhealthy. So for example, you know, there might be on a Friday night you have this tradition of having a takeaway pizza. You know, that's an unhealthy habit. Or on a Saturday night you go out with your mates and you know, and have too much to drink, for example. That could also be a habit. So, or you might have too much soda during the week, or, you know, you might eat too much bread. You know, think about some of the habits that you have right now that you think, actually, do you know what? They could either be improved, or you think that they are deemed unhealthy compared to what they should be. So I want you to just spend sort of a couple of minutes just writing down those three habits. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about, so if say for example, we had bread, okay, and you're having say the equivalent of, say, I don't know, 1.5 loaves of bread on a weekly basis just for yourself, which say equate it to, say, 20 slices of bread per week or whatever it is, which is a lot of bread, right? What is the benefit? What are you going to get out of cutting down bread? You know, So are you going to go from 20 to 15? Are you going to go from 20 to 12? In a nutshell, habits take around 28 days to change subconsciously, on a subconscious level. So you really got to not change too many things. That's why I only keep it to 3. So identify your unhealthy habits, find a way to improve those healthy habits, wait at least 14 days before bringing in any new habits. But really, it's 28 days before you get some really great results that really kind of sink into your subconscious mind. So that's what you really want you to think about. The reason why that guy's actually sleepwalking is because a lot of people are actually unaware of their habits, and we get stuck into what I call a sleepwalking mode. We're unaware of our daily actions, and we become a little bit subdued. We become a little bit delusional because we're in this sleepwalking mode. But then, there might be some health issues that, you might, for example, you might suffer from, you might be bloatiness, or it might be that you have poor energy, you might have poor digestion, or whatever it might be. So you want to try and eliminate some of those unhealthy habits to help improve some of your health conditions and stuff like that. So to just spend a couple of minutes, just do that for me. Okay. Now, this was an example actually of a client of mine that I still currently work with. She is a chartered accountant and she runs her own business. And I got her to write out a diary for me, just a 48-hour diary, just to tell me what specifically, what is her actions throughout the day. Okay. And, so from the time that she gets up to the time that she goes to bed, just to see, what's she doing, what is she eating during the day and drinking and so forth. And some of the things that came about during our interview, when we sat down, was that she was highly stressed, because when she was working for somebody at the time, she'd be continuing to work until the early hours of the morning. But also because she's also very left-brained. Accountants are very left-brained people. They're very, very logical people, very intelligent people, but very, very logical people. And so she wasn't getting outdoors. And we also found activities of things that she really enjoys doing. So, for example, her love is actually walking, bird watching. She loves being outdoors. And, she also loves to create cards. So she makes birthday cards, Christmas cards, but from scratch. So she creates her own designs and stuff like that. So what we found is, all in all, we found that she was going to bed too late. She wasn't developing herself. She was actually just being a slave to her employer at the time. So what we did is we just did 3 habits at a time, and I gave her set her a goal. And you'll see there's numbers down on this. So there's 5, 3, 3, and so forth. These are how many times that she needs to complete that. So, for example, cell phone and laptop off by 9 p.m. The goal is to hit that 5 days out of 7. Creative thinking and card making 3 days out of 7. All right. Walk before work 30 minutes. She has to complete it 3 days out of the 7. Obviously, she works 5 days a week and stuff. Outdoors for 20 minutes per day for vitamin D absorption, because she was vitamin D deficient. In bed by 11 o'clock. Tennis ball exercises. That's because she has a condition called rheumatoid arthritis and plantar fasciitis as well. So I just gave her some exercises for that. And then read personal development books. So I'm a big believer that you have to really develop the mindset. And, she enjoys reading as well, and personal development is just the way to go. So you could use something very similar to this, guys. Create a healthy habits register. Start by writing out 3 healthy habits, set yourself some goals, put some ticks, and then reward yourself as well. All right. So what are my secrets to good management? Well, number one is I keep I keep it simple. I don't keep things complicated. I don't try and make things complicated. I try and track everything. I'm a little bit of a left brainer myself, purely because I'm very results orientated. I'm very goal orientated. And so I'd like to track everything down. I like to see improvements, and I like to see it on paper. Otherwise, I lose track of everything. Make decisions prior to getting hungry. What that basically means is I'll just use another client's example who works in the city as a banker. And what we found is that what he was doing, he was getting in at, say, 7 o'clock in the evening, would be completely exhausted after doing a 12-hour day, and had no energy to basically prepare for anything healthy in the evening. He would buy a ready meal from the grocery store or the supermarket, and obviously those ready meals contain high amounts of sugar and salt, which is not going to be any good to him, and especially for antioxidant protection and dampening his immune system. So he wasn't on best of form. So what I said to him, as I said, on a Sunday evening, what I'd like you to do is I'm going to give you 3 to 4 dishes that I'd like you to prepare prior to the working week. So on a Sunday night, it'd spend half an hour preparation and cooking it all up. And then what he did is, so for example, I said, okay, well, I want you to go and make a turkey chili. So he'll do a large bag of turkey chili and stick the rest in the freezer. So I'd have that for maybe one of the lunches. Or for example, it could be a salad or a soup that you want, a homemade soup, for example, homemade tomato soup. Again, have a small batch and then freeze the rest, because you can get ahead of the game by being just prepared, a little bit more prepared ahead of the game. Eat smaller and more often, which will help you with your blood glucose levels. Blood glucose and productivity has huge amounts of implications. If you have good, moderate, low GI, I call GI glycemic foods, low sugar foods within your diet, then your productivity is going to be more sound, because with high sugar foods, then you're going to have what I call the yo-yo or the roller coaster. So you want to have sort of low glycemic foods throughout the day. Keep snacks handy. If you work in an office, for example, you want to keep a stock full of healthy foods, even in your car, actually, because if you're driving to and from work, or if you're you're commuting to meetings and stuff like that, it's always best to have an emergency stack of good foods, good fruits and vegetables. Make sure you've got a spare bottle of water. From on Amazon now, actually they have an array of different fruits and vegetable boxes that you can order on automated and get that sent to you on a weekly basis. I use a company called USANA, which do nutritional supplements and healthy snack bars and shakes, which is perfect for me because they send it to me every month, and then I just keep some stuff in my office drawer. But if I'm out and I'm busy, especially when it comes to breakfast, I've got something healthy and it'll keep me going for a longer period of time. Eat fresh, wholesome and natural food in its purest form. Not rocket science. I actually get you probably get it in Sweden as well, as there is a farm that delivers organic fruit and veg to me on a weekly basis. I get my bread and my milk from there as well, and they deliver it to me every week. So you can actually have things automated on a weekly basis as well. Cut out sugar, dairy, grains, and processed food. No good for you. Eat a healthy, protein-packed breakfast within 1 hour of waking up. I'll give you some examples in a minute. Drink 2 to 3 liters of water on a daily basis. Lemon water in the morning. Lemon water is great in terms of antioxidants, but also gives you that kickstart for energy as well in the morning. Eliminate stress, alcohol, nicotine, drugs, and chemicals. You can do that through cutting out some of the unhealthy habits. Read, watch, and listen to positive material, which will help you set yourself up in the middle of the day. One of the things that I always tell people, especially entrepreneurs, is never listen or watch the news in the morning. It will put you in a bad, subdued mood. Best thing to do is to listen to a podcast or a webinar, something that's going to add value back to your life, that's going to make you happy, it's going to bring you abundance, it's going to bring you success and achievement. Those are the types of things that you need to be listening to. Be accountable and show gratitude. You know, think about all the great and wonderful people around you. You know, if you want to set yourself a goal, then tell the world about it. Get on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it might be, and just tell that you're gonna achieve something, and you will achieve it. You will achieve it. The other thing is sleep. You know, we haven't really touched about sleep, but sleep and energy management go hand in hand. You know, if you don't sleep for very often, or do not get a very restful night's sleep, then that's going to have a huge implication on your energy management and the productivity that you have in your business. Ideally, they say that the ideal sleep is about 8 hours, but I'm sort of saying between 6 and 8 hours. So you want to be bang in the middle, around 7 hours. Our body goes through different sleep cycles. Our body could actually get away with just sleeping for 3 hours, believe it or not, because we go through a pattern of deep sleep, and that's where the body and the mind repairs itself and just puts itself back all together. And anything else is a bonus. But really, you need to be sleeping for about 7 hours to be more restful in the morning, to be highly productive, to be highly focused, and that's what you need to be doing. This is the 80-20 rule. Now, you're probably thinking, well, all of this information is really, really great, but I don't want to, and you may be feeling quite fearful, as in like, oh, I need to change this, or I need to change that, or I need to do this and I need to do that. You know, I'm a big believer that we're all still human beings, and we all still have our own weaknesses or vices in life. And I believe that, you know, you still need to live that. So the 80-20 rule is that 80% of the time you stick to an all perfect diet. And the other 20% is that then you can eat whatever you want. All right. The 80-20 rule. And the thing is that, you know, food is friend at the end of the day. And especially when it comes to, you know, I don't want you to see food as an enemy, because it's not. But if you use the 80-20 rule, and, you know, still live a life, of course. All right. You don't have to be completely perfect. I mean, I'm not completely perfect. I still have my own vices. All right. But I want you to really kind of take that into consideration, guys, is follow the 80-20 rule. Yeah. You know, have whatever you want during that 20%, you know, if you want. It's entirely up to you. But stick to the 80-20 rule. It's the best way to do it. And then you're not going to feel so guilty when it comes to food, and kind of subconsciously be aware of what's going in your mouth and that kind of stuff. Finally, the most important is 20 minutes of sunshine per day. Now, in the winter, it can be pretty difficult, because I know here in the UK and in Sweden, certainly, you know, in Stockholm and places north of Stockholm in the winter, I know that you guys don't get a huge amount of sun. So, you know, supplementation is a key necessity. So vitamin D is very, very important for the absorption of protein and calcium in the body as well. But, you know, if you can, get 20 minutes of sunshine per day, because it's going to help. It's going to help you it brings you lots of endorphins. It actually gives you the same happy hormones as dark chocolate gives you and exercise gives you. You know, that's what sunshine gives you. So make sure that you're out there, you know, getting some exposed sun on a daily basis. So if you have any questions, you can email me at hello@adamstrong.net, and you'll feel free to take a look at my website, which is adamstrong.net as well. I really enjoyed today, actually. You know, if you have any particular questions that you want to ask me at all, you know, feel free to drop me an email, reach out to me via through Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. If you have any specific questions about today, or you're stuck, or whatever it is, you know, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure that me or one of my team will be able to get back to you as soon as possible. And hope you have a wonderful day. And, you know, really try and use some of the content that you've learned from today and implement, you know, some of the things, even if it's just a small, you know, changing some of the habits, just to help you to be a little bit more productive and enhance the performance in you and your business. So have a wonderful day, and speak to you soon. Take care.